Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. This is your science teacher, Mrs. Madiha Ashraf. Welcome in General Science Grade 8. Today we are going to start chapter number 6, that is water. The objectives of this lesson. After the end of this lesson, you will be able to know about why water is important, what is water cycle, and how pollution affects water cycle. First of all, we see where is the water in our environment, where it is found in the form of ice like polar ice caps. It is found in lakes, river and groundwater, and it is found in the form of seas and ocean. How much it is present in ice or polar ice? Only 2% is found in the frozen form, while 1% is present in the form of river, lakes and groundwater. The maximum amount of water that is found in seas and ocean is 97%. Why this water is important? You know, water is important for our body and we have many uses in our daily life. Can you list up? Make a list of some uses of water. Here is a list of some points which shows that how water is important for us. About 66% of our body is made up of water. And water is used up in our body cell, tissues and organs. It helps us to digest the food and get rid of waste. Water also keeps our skin healthy and maintain the body temperature. A living tree is about 70% water. Similarly, a microorganism also contains 90% of the water. The most important information is the last point. Note it down. A person can live about a month without food, but can live only about 1 week without water. This shows how water is important for us. What is the water cycle? Water never leaves the earth. It is constantly in move, or it is being cycled through the atmosphere, ocean and land. This process is known as water cycle. The water cycle composed of many parts. Sunlight or the energy from the sunlight heat up the water and converts this liquid into the gaseous form. This process is named as evaporation. Water convert from liquid to the gaseous form. Why? Because of energy of sun. And it evaporate in the form of water vapors into the atmosphere. Then these water vapors get cold. They convert or they condense into liquid again in clouds. When the further temperature is lowered, then they precipitate or convert into the rain form and reaches to the ground, where they are taken up by plants, or it is absorbed in the soil or collected by the humans in dams and other reservoirs. And some of the water run off back to the seas and ocean. So we will see that how water is being cycled between atmosphere, ocean and the land. This process of water movement is named as water cycle. How many stages in this cycle are? These are: number 1, evaporation; number 2, condensation; number 3, precipitation; number 4, transpiration; and number 5 is the runoff. Now we will see all these stages one by one. Stage 1 is evaporation. Evaporation occurs when the sun heats up water in rivers or lakes or the ocean and turn it into the vapors or stream. Which phase or the state changes take place here? Water in the ocean, lakes is present in the form of liquid. When we heat up, generally you have observed this fact. When we heat up the water, it starts turning to the vapors. So similarly, evaporation take place in the open water bodies like river and lakes. So sun heat up the water and this liquid convert into the steam or water vapors. Where these water vapors go now? These water vapors or steam leaves the river, lake or ocean and goes into the air. So this phenomena or this process is known as evaporation. Water evaporate due to the which factor? Due to the sun heat. See, this process is shown here. The water bodies or the liquid water is shown which get energy or the heat from sun and convert into the vapors. So formation of water vapors or the steam in this process. The water leaves the ocean and lakes and enters to the atmosphere or become the part of atmosphere. In which form? In water vapors form or in gaseous form. This process is known as evaporation. Now stage 2 or the second step of water cycle is condensation. Condensation, in short, it is a process in which gaseous form of water turns to the liquid, and this process takes place when there is the cooling or when their temperature is lowered. So condensation in water cycle, how it occurs? It occurs when water vapors or stream in the air gets cold and changes from a gaseous form back into the liquid form. This form is named as the clouds, formation of the clouds. Which process is responsible for cloud formation? That is the condensation. When it happens? When the temperature gets lowered or when it gets cold. Then what happened? Water vapors converts into the liquid form. That process is named as condensation. Condensation can be shown here. What is condensation? The water vapors which are present in which form? In liquid or gaseous form? They are present in the gaseous form, in the clouds or in the air. When they get cold, they come back in the form of liquid. That is named as condensation, or they start turning to the liquid is named as the condensation. Stage 3 is named as precipitation. Precipitation occurs when so much water has condensed, when maximum of the water has condensed, that the clouds get heavy. Because of the maximum water, liquid water in fact, and then water fall back to the earth In which form? In the form of rain, hail, sleet or snow. So this phenomena is named as precipitation. The raining process is named as the precipitation. When it happens, when the too much water is present in the clouds, they get heavy and this water, liquid water, falls to the earth. See this process? In this water cycle, we have taken the start from evaporation. Water, liquid water converts to the steam or water vapors. When the temperature is lowered or it get cold, air get cold, the steam or the water vapor condense into liquid form, and too much liquid present in the clouds, then they become heavy and this water returns back to the earth, and this process is named as precipitation in the form of rain. So rain formation is the process that is called precipitation. Our fourth stage is named as collection. This is when water that falls from clouds as the rain, snow, hail or sleet collects the oceans. Now water which in the form of rain or during precipitation process comes on the earth. Where this water goes, this water enters to the oceans, rivers, lakes or stream. Some of or the most will soak into the ground and will collect as underground water. This is named as also aquifers, and sometimes this is used as the source of drinking water in many countries. Collection. You can see in this picture what is happening when the water or the rainwater that is reaching the ground from the atmosphere. It goes to the ground and collected in the seas, ocean, river, lakes, and most of the water can also be taken up by the soil or it is soaked into the underground layers. So this is named as the collection. Our fifth stage is named as transpiration during the water cycle. Transpiration is just like the process of evaporation, but this evaporation is taking place inside the plants. The process of evaporation in plants is called transpiration. What does it mean? It means plants lost the water. So when the plants lost the water, this process or this phenomena is named as transpiration. Just like in other words, we can say plants are sweating or exhaling, like humans exhale. So when we exhale, the air we release or the gas we release also contain water vapors. So similarly, plants also lost the water in a process of evaporation. This process of evaporation is named as transpiration. Transpiration is represented here. First process, evaporation, that is turning of liquid water into the steam or the gaseous form when it is heated up and goes to the environment. Then condensation take place. Condensation is what? Condensation is the conversion of gaseous water to the liquid state, and these condensed form is present in the clouds. When they become too heavy due to the maximum amount of the liquid water, then they precipitate in the form of rain. This water from the atmosphere now taken up by the plants. The excess water in plants are evaporated by a process that is named as transpiration process. What this process is now? Transpiration. This is the fifth stage. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth stage of water cycle. Our next stage or the last stage is runoff. When rain falls on the land, some of water is absorbed into the ground, forming pockets of water that is named as groundwater. Mostly it returns to the ocean. Other precipitations run directly into the stream or rivers. During the rainfall, where the water goes, imagine the ways that where it goes. You have noticed in your daily life. Note it down. So these are some ways where this water goes. Some of the water is absorbed in the ground. Some of the water returns to the ocean, and some of the water directly reaches the stream or river. So what is runoff? As the name shows, water that is collected in river, stream, and ocean is called runoff. Look at this stage, last stage. After the precipitation, when the water reaches to the ground, taken up by the plants, some of the water is absorbed by the plants, some of the water runs off and runs off to in the different ways and goes back to the ocean. So the water that is collected in stream, ocean, rivers is named as runoff. So in this cycle, what you have noticed, that water is being cycled between ocean, atmosphere, and the ground or the land through different processes. What these are? These are evaporation, condensation, precipitation, transpiration, and runoff. In which process energy is needed? Can you name the process? In which process energy is needed? Whether it is evaporation, condensation, or precipitation. Well, this is evaporation because sunlight heat up the water. Then it will start turning from liquid to the gaseous state. And which process? Identify the process in which temperature is lowered. The process only takes place when the temperature is lowered. Which process is that? This process is named as condensation. What happened during condensation? Whether water turned from liquid to gas or gas to liquid. Gas to liquid. Conversion of gas to liquid is named as condensation. And what is the transpiration? It is similar to the evaporation. If you notice the arrow, transpiration arrow is also showing the water is entering the atmosphere. So this happens only when evaporation takes place. So transpiration and evaporation, these are the two processes in which water enters the atmosphere. And condensation and precipitation shows that the water from atmosphere comes on the ground or on the land. So this is how water in our environment is continuously moving or being cycled. Now there is an assignment at the end of this water cycle. First of all, you have to draw the water cycle, and then you have to give the short answer to these questions. What these questions are? Question number 1. These are from the water cycle. Name the process in which plants lose water. See this water cycle carefully and find out the process name in which plants lose the water into the atmosphere. Right? Hope you will find the answer. Question number 2. What causes the evaporation? What is there which cause evaporation? Is there any driven force? What? Can you identify what causes the evaporation? We have repeatedly used that word. So find it out. What causes the evaporation? Question number 3. What is the form of water or the state of water in the process of precipitation? Just write it down. You can also name during the precipitation what form of waters are formed, in which form it enters the land or ground from the atmosphere. Question number 4, that is, what is meant by runoff? What is meant by runoff? This is a stage during the water cycle. So you have to describe the runoff stage. Clear? Some related questions of water cycle are given on page number 78. We will do these questions later on. First, you have to practice the water cycle, its flow sheet diagram, and all the stages, and then find out the answer of these short questions. This is the end of our today's lesson. Thank you, students. Have a nice day. Allah Hafiz.